Hey there, and a good Sunday morning to you. I want to begin this little video by expressing to our friends and folks that are out in places like Nebraska and South Dakota and Iowa. Just noticed this morning in some of the news feeds about all of the flooding and the severe situations out there, folks. What can I say other than we're thinking about you, we're praying for you, and that's a mess that you're having to deal with. But I'm in the woods this morning. We would be at mass, but you know, the Queen came down with the flu, and I decided that I was just going to quarantine myself. I don't want to be around anybody and maybe carry that bug to them. So far, I've been fortunate. I've been blessed. I haven't come down with it, but I don't want to take it to anybody else. So I'm beginning this little series this morning, and the mosquitoes are out in Lower Alabama already. But I'm beginning this series on woodland medicinals that are available right here in our area, and I'm on my way through the woods. Not to grandmother's house we go, but I'm on my way through the woods about a mile to pick up some medicinal material, and then I'm going to bring it back over to where we're at and talk about it a little bit. Come with me. The woods are beautiful this time of the year here in Lower Alabama. The mosquitoes are not bad yet. They will be bad, but they're not bad yet. I mentioned earlier that it was about a mile from where I was at to where I needed to go. Let's go this way. And I'm about a quarter of a mile from where I want to get back to. Being able to identify and utilize resources, I do believe is one of the most important things that anybody can do as a part of bushcraft, woodcraft, anything that has to do with being outdoors. And that's the point of this little video series, to be able to help people identify and utilize natural resources, especially the ones that we have available to us here on the lower coast. It's tea time, y'all. And you don't have to call ahead to schedule a time to tee off. You just go out in the woods and make you a cup. Anyway, Earl Grey is always good in the woods. Now what we've got here that I've spent all that time walking to get, willow. And what's the big deal about the willow? Well, you know, finding a fever reducer or a pain reliever isn't hard to do as long as you can get to the pharmacy or the Walmart or the Dollar General or anything like that, where you can go and buy a bottle of aspirin or Tylenol or ibuprofen or any of those kind of things. But what happens if you can't get there? Or, God forbid, if the supply train quit running? We think we're immune to that in this country, and I hope we do have a strong immunity to things like that, but there's places in the world where it happens. And things like sprains and fevers and inflammation, all kinds of stuff like that, they go on whether or not the supply train is running. So you need something in the way of an analgesic. Now, you can read stuff that says use white willow. We don't have white willow in this part of the world, in this part of the country, not growing wild, but we have an abundance of black willow. Any willow will work as an analgesic. And you know, different willows have different amounts of the, whatever it is in there, the natural aspirin. In fact, it was the willow that scientists used to develop modern day aspirin, some type of chemical synthetic thing. And you can cut a big chunk out of a big trunk, and get down to the cambium, the pink layer underneath, and harvest that. Or you can use small branches and peel the bark off of them. You can make a tea from the bark and the leaves, mind you. You can use the leaves as well. In the winter time and early spring and late fall, when the leaves are not on the tree and you need some aspirin, use the bark. You can make a tincture from willow. And one of the things that I've read recently is that a willow tincture, as long as you put it in a dark colored glass container and keep it out of the direct sunlight, will last 7 or 8 years on the shelf. So yeah, that's a lot of personal assurance. Now, one of the things you're going to notice about the willow is that it's very bitter. It's very bitter to the taste. You can chew the bark. Getting bitter, real bitter. That's good medicine. even the bitterness is good medicine, because that helps your digestive system. There's things in your digestive system that needs that bitterness. Willow grows near water. Think wetlands. If you need something in an emergency, or if you simply want to have some fun and do things self-reliantly as much as possible, think willow. Next time you have a headache, next time you have a fever, next time you have some kind of inflammation going on in your body. I'm going to finish my tea and ease on back to the cabin. See you on the next one. There's a world of information at our fingertips if we will simply turn the pages or press the keys, make the keystrokes to investigate, to study, to educate ourselves. And rather than going into a lot of detail on these various woodland medicinals that we're going to be looking at over the next course of time, I'm going to show you what they are. You do the research on them. Come to your own conclusions about whether or not you want to experiment. And that's what a lot of it is. It's experimentation. You're gaining experimental knowledge. Experimenting becomes experience, and you become more comfortable with it. And so as we go through these things, as I introduce them, go to your computer, go to the library, do the research, gain the knowledge, and let's learn together.